Welcome back to the War of the Realms, the 2019 summer event of Marvel Comics. What's happened recently is Malekith has formed an alliance between the 9 realms to battle against Earth and brought all of these realms to Earth to finally eradicate any problems in his way. Thor has gone missing, having been sent to Jotunheim. Loki is currently seemingly dead but actually alive, being digested by his father Laufey. Odin is currently wounded, and Freya is the only member of the royal family of the Asgardians that is around. Doctor Strange has just teleported all of the heroes back to Avengers Mountain Armory, and the Valkyries fell in battle. If you're wondering where you are, this is Comicstorian, where we create audio dramas of your favorite lore within comic books, video games, and movies. And today we're going to be covering more parts of the War of the Realms. For those who are wondering, this is a 6-issue direct series, but what it does is it references all of the tie-ins. So we are wrapping in the more important tie-ins into our overall plot. Today we're going to be giving you the beginning of issue 3, but then we're going to be moving on to Strikeforce, Land of the Giants. If you want to watch the videos to get caught up to this point, check out the playlist down below. Now, let's begin. All-Mother Freya walks into the Avengers Mountain Armory, with the walls covered in all manner of weaponry befitting the various members of the team. If it is true that Malekith has created a black Bifrost in Jotunheim, then shutting it down is the only way to halt the flow of his troops. She explains as she is crossing the room, heading to Thor's vast arsenal of magical weapons. The goddess lifts one of Thor's oldest weapons, the axe known as Yonborn, the weapon that wounded even Apocalypse. The All-Mother stares at the axe, knowing that with Odin wounded, she is the only one who can lead the mission against the Black Bifrost. She turns, offering the weapon. Which means I must ask a great favor of you, she says, offering it to Captain America. I need you to go to Jotunheim, find my son and bring him home. Cap takes the axe in his hand, nodding in his acceptance. When do we leave? At the gate of the Bifrost, Daredevil stands with Heimdall, the former guardian of the Rainbow Bridge. Heimdall warns him that by taking up the sword, he will see all and tread where only gods have before him. Well, if there's one thing that I've learned, I'm not a very good Catholic. Murdoch states as he grasps the hilt. Pulling it free, the bridge is once again activated. And throughout Avengers Mountain, the different strike teams are sent on their missions. Behind Daredevil, Jane Foster enters the chamber, armed with Odin's staff and the Destroyer at her side. Malekith will know the Bifrost is active and he will come for us. We're the only warriors Asgard has left, so get ready to hold the bridge. The All-Mother orders it. We now move into the Strikeforce Land of the Giants book. Spider-Man sits on a frozen hill overlooking Avengers Mountain, thinking back on the strange event of his day. Suddenly, the snow crunches behind him, and startled he finds Captain America standing before him, dressed for the cold, wielding a very large axe. We need to save the world, he simply says. Peter nods. He was just thinking that, and he points out Cap's new weaponry. This was Thor's axe when he was young, Cap explains. I had a stuffed bear. It was called Fluffles McGee. Probably not as significant. Cap turns, motioning for Peter to follow him, yet Spider-Man is startled when he sees how Captain America got to the top of the mountain. The wings of a golden-armored Pegasus beat in the air, pushing the wind around them. Cap mounts the animal and calls for Spider-Man to join him downstairs. Sure, I could swing down, but... Spider-Man's cries of joy echo throughout the mountains as the two of them swoop off of the mountaintop, riding the back of a Pegasus, something Spider-Man never thought he'd be able to do. And inside at the Avengers War table, Cap explains their mission to save Thor to his strike team. Wolverine, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Spider-Man will be on this mission with Cap. That's not really a mission. Something this epic should be called a quest, Danny Rand notes with a smile on his face. Quickly, the heroes agree to accompany Cap and the team move down to the armory. Feel free to choose whatever Asgardian weapon you would like. They're surprisingly well labeled. Cap motions. So Iron Fist chooses the twin swords of Sprag, whose edge all Jotunheim fears. Luke chooses the Hammer of Rock, which cracks giants like eggs. I'm good, Logan notes, popping his claws. Only Peter seems hesitant. He's not really a weapons and smiting kind of guy. Cap nods and hands him a golden shield. They can be useful, he says with a large smile on his face. And from behind, Logan slaps a helmet on Spidey's head. Magic helm, he says with an even bigger grin than Cap's. With the team fully armed, Cap suddenly turns. Daredevil, can you hear me? I hear you, Steve. I hear everything. The voice fills Roger's mind and the team stands ready. Captain America orders him to open up the Bifrost. At his station, Daredevil twists the ancient sword that acts as a key to the Rainbow Bridge, and the ever-watchful Heimdall is over his shoulder. In the armory, the bridge opens with the cold winds whipping the room into a storm. Everyone get ready. Cap orders, confusing Luke Cage. Yet the Valkyries Pegasus were bred for war, and though their riders have fallen, they are still prepared to fight. I am so into this! Spider-Man cries as the 5 heroes ride the flying horses on the beginning of their quest. We need a name, Danny comments as he turns to Logan. No, we don't. How about the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, or the 4 Horsemen who all punched Apocalypse? He asks. No. Iron Fist turns to his friend Luke, who is merely shaking his head. There's 5 of us. You forgot to count yourself, didn't you? Luke asks. I forgot to count myself. Suddenly, the rainbow portal opens up and the team is flying over the frozen wastes of Jotunheim. A river the color of purple flows through the valley. Do you think we can find Thor? Cap asks, turning in his saddle to Wolverine, who merely nods. I say we just follow the river of giant's blood. The heroes swoop low, flying over the vast purple river of blood. Shh, easy, Buttercup, Spider-Man says, leaning in, patting the neck of his steed. You named your horse? Logan asks, raising an eyebrow. You didn't? My horse is called Horse. Spider-Sense kicks in a moment too late as a massive arrow sails through the air, piercing Luke's Pegasus, knocking the hero free. More arrows begin to fly from the ambushing frost giant archers, piercing Logan's horse next. With a growl of anger, he sails through the air, popping his claws, colliding with a giant, burying the blades deep into his chest. Luke sails in next, dropping another with his mighty hammer. You are not hurting Buttercup! Spidey cries, blocking the arrow with his shield before swinging in to crunch the frost giant in the nose. The giants stumble in fear as they see the fearsome weapons that our heroes hold. And seeing this, Peter turns to Logan. Hey, what does the helmet do? Wolverine continues to slash at the downed giant, telling him, I don't know. It was the most ridiculous helmet I saw in there. I mean, it has a little shade to cover your neck, and we're on a dark ice planet. Wolverine simply grins, still slashing. Spider-Man looks embarrassed at the ground. You know, I preferred it when you were dead, Logan. The battle is quickly over, yet all but Spider-Man's Pegasus have fallen. The heroes turn to see the final Pegasus bowing before her fallen comrades. Logan turns, motioning for the rest of the heroes to do likewise. You want us to bow to horses? Danny questions, yet Logan merely glares, ordering them to bow again. The heroes do, paying honor to the fallen warriors. Are we just gonna leave them here? Questions Peter. Surprisingly, a voice answers. No, they will not be left here. Peter springs away from the voice of Buttercup. Whoa, you're a talking horse? The Pegasus explains that all horses are talking horses, yet it seems that Spider-Man's helmet is allowing them to understand each other. I am Queen Arctorius, she introduces herself. That's a nice name. Buttercup was also nice. The rest of the team look on as the strange horse noises keep coming out of Spider-Man. Finally, the Queen orders the heroes forward, for the God of Thunder needs them. She will say the words to usher the fallen kin's souls to the sky. The team pushes forward, pushing through the land of ice and snow, following the river of blood, and once that river ends, it turns into a mountain of bodies. Thunder rumbles as lightning flashes, and standing amongst those bodies, blood dripping from dozens of wounds, stands the God of Thunder. He stands with one arm missing, while the other clutching a hammer that has been broken over his enemies' heads. More giants! Send me more Odin-damned giants! Send them all! He cries out. Wolverine has seen this. It's a berserker rage, and he has been there before. For Luke Cage, it was one time in Harlem. For Iron Fist, he once raged fighting a group of ninjas. I had a particularly bad day with Hitler. Captain America nods solemnly. The group then turns to Spider-Man to see what his rage was. Yeah, there was this one time on a Black Friday sale. It's all a bit of a blur. Next thing I know, I bought a microwave. The heroes know that the fight will not end until Thor's enemies are defeated, and from behind, the Queen arrives. Peter tries to explain that this isn't her fight. We are of the 10 realms. If the realms fall, stallions, mares, foils will all be enslaved, she explains as Peter gets on her back and her wings unfold. You fight for your kin and I will fight for mine. Let us fight together, noble jester warrior. With these words, the two fly into battle and our heroes charge, fighting the frost giants. Captain swung his axe. Luke Cage's hammer fell over and over again, and a blow from a massive club sends him flying. Yet he struggles to get back on his feet. Come on! He cries in anger as he readies his fists. The battle raged for hours, days maybe. But finally, the frost giants fell. Captain America struggled to stand, yet Thor was there, hand outstretched. On your feet, Captain. The helmet! Find me the damned helmet! Spider-Man screams into the wind as he kneels over the body of the Queen, pierced by a massive arrow. Sadly, Logan tosses Peter the magical item. He struggles to hear her words over the blizzards of Jotunheim. She does not wish to be buried in this frozen land. Take me home, noble jester warrior. The Queen's final words echo in his head. Peter did his best at burying the Queen in the sky so that her soul could soar within the clouds. The heroes take a knee for their fallen comrade. For war, we'll just have to wait a moment. But what happened next, my dear viewers? Well, we need a strike team to go to the Dark Elf Realm, and you'll have to subscribe to our channel to get that story next week. The story of War of the Realms is sprawling and going through many, many books, but we here at Comicstorian believe in telling you the story in proper order to the best of our ability, and that is what we are doing right here. So, subscribe to the channel to get the Dark Elf Realm next week, and you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian. We'll see you next time right here.